Hello, my name's Darren Alf from BicycleTouringPro.com. Today's a special day because today I fly to Alaska.
Leave outside the block and return yourself.
So just like that, I'm in Anchorage, Alaska. So one of my Bicycle Touring Pro readers is going to meet me here at the airport, and he's agreed to host me with his family at his home here in Anchorage. So that's where I'm going to be staying. His name is Michael Johnson, and his wife's name is Erica. So I'm just waiting to pick up my bags. I've already got one of them. My bike has arrived. I'm waiting for my other stuff now. This is my bag. Oh yeah.
Here, Sasha, you can be in a movie. Ready? Here you go. She's 39 pounds.
Yeah, okay.
You made me look like a genius.
Yeah, sorry.
So I survived my first night camping in Alaska. It was really cold last night, way colder than I thought it was going to be actually. I'm going to have to wear more clothes tomorrow night. The kids just put on a performance for me on the piano and violin, and now I've got to put my bicycle together. It's inside that suitcase. So I flew to Alaska. That's my bike inside that case. This is the CoMotion Copilot travel case, and I have my CoMotion Pangea inside that suitcase. So I'm going to have to take the bike out now, put it back together, and prepare for my bike tour across Alaska. So I've got the bike put together, just taking it for a test spin. It's feeling good. The rear brake needs some adjusting, but otherwise it's good. Now I gotta go. My brakes need a little adjusting, but otherwise my bike is back together. Michael's taking me out for the first official bike ride around Anchorage here. Where are we going?
We're gonna go to Kincaid Park. You're almost guaranteed to see a moose if you spend much time in Kincaid. We see 3-4 moose a day. It's really common.
Yeah. So we're looking for moose.
So Anchorage, Alaska, I think they were rated like a silver star by some bicycling advocacy organization. They've done a lot of things to improve bicycling quality and safety in town. Among those, we have these little fix-it stations with a few tools, tire pump. We have several of these along the coastal trail, and it's really a great place to be. Okay, our next stop on our journey is Flattop Mountain. It's about a 3-mile hike, 1,300 feet uphill climb. It's a beautiful view. You can see Anchorage, a little bit of Turning an Arm, and the Chugach Mountains behind you. It's probably the most climbed mountain in Alaska, but it still has a difficult section where you kind of have to scramble your way up the last bit. And lots of people do it. It's a very nice peak. People sleep on the top. They have winter and summer solstice overnights on there, and it's a really great place to be. Cool.
Here's the moose. Jeez. These things are huge. So I bought bear spray and a down jacket, which I did not want to spend the money. It cost me almost $170 total, but I feel more comfortable now that I have that jacket. It's just really cold here, and I do not want to freeze once I get out on the road.
Sorry, here, wake up, Sasha. People want to say hi.
Hey. There he is.
Yeah, see? If you're hiking on the trail, she'll want to just come up and kiss and hug you and stuff like that. And then as you walk the other way and we walk this way, she looks at you like, why are you leaving me?
I just spotted my first Alaskan moose. It's right up here, but it's really hard to see. It's right there. There's the moose. And right above it is a paraglider. Paraglider? Moose. Where'd the moose go? There it is. There's a big old moose right here. Oh my gosh, the thing is huge. That's the biggest moose I've ever seen. Okay. That is easily the biggest moose I've ever seen in the wild. That thing is huge. Hey, you're a bad model.
So we are on top of Flattop Mountain. Flattop, like I said earlier, is the most climbed peak in Alaska. We saw a lot of people on the trail. Really great place. You know, nice little scrambling to get up to the top. Saw a lady coming down. She was wearing 4-inch heels on the way up. She took them off. She had pantyhose in the dirt and gravel on the way down. It's amazing. Never saw that. And if you look behind you, there's a kind of a rugged looking peak there. That's called Ptarmigan Peak, and I've climbed that a few times, and it looks kind of ominous, but there's reasonable routes to the top. Across the valley, there's O'Malley Peak, and that's maybe, I don't know, 4,800, 4,900 feet tall. And you can bicycle hike up this valley. It's called Powerline Pass. And we're right outside of Anchorage. The trailhead is 20 minutes from my house, you know, so 30 minutes from the airport. It's really great terrain, really close to the city. It's a really great urban place to live. The ad for Alaska is the big wildlife, that's what they call it. All kinds of they did stuff at the Saturday market. They played music, and I'm like, okay, if you want to engage a crowd, here's what you got to do. And so I talk about different ways you can engage a crowd.
temperature right now is 39 degrees. Oh boy, it's cold.
And what time is it? 10:40, 10:50?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, we're leaving Anchorage, headed for Palmer. It's about 45 miles. We're gonna cast off from there. The reason we're doing that is there's a nice, actually, bike path along the Glen Highway, but you're still biking on a bike path next to 6 lanes of highway traffic. So we're gonna move past that and get to scenic Palmer, which I think is a highly underrated mountain town. And if Outside Magazine finds out, it would rank #1, I think, or top 3. And then we're gonna find a nice pullout, and then we're gonna send off Darren with me and our 2 older children, Clay and Honey, and we're gonna ride, 15-20 miles down the road and get out into scenic Alaska. We found a really cool video of someone and previewed our entire route, and it really looks fantastic, and we're hoping the weather holds for Darren. It should be a really good time.
Hi.
So we've driven about 40-50 miles outside of Anchorage, and we are all loading up on the bikes right now, the entire family. And we're gonna ride together for about 2 hours, or maybe an hour, 2 hours, and then yeah, and then I'll say goodbye and I'll be on my own. So do you think you could ride your bike all the way across Alaska after the first, 8 miles?
No. I think I'd probably poop out and decide to go back and just do mountain biking.
Yeah.
I don't like the road.
Only just begun here, and it's incredibly scenic, really nice. We're going up a steep hill now. Oh gosh.
We're tired.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. It's scary.
No, I'm tired. Yeah, it's alright. I ride it all the time, I think. There you go. Clay's riding my bike right now. He's amazed at how heavy it is. So how was it? How was it?
I felt like I was 8 years old learning to ride again.
So what's your story?
Oh, so I picked up this book called Just Ride, and this would be more from Michael at bicycletouringamateur.com. And he said, when you're riding down the road and you're on a narrow shoulder, a good trick to use is, don't wear a helmet, and
a lot of cyclists are going to disagree with you right there.
So don't wear a helmet,
Yeah.
don't wear fancy bike garb, and that when you're riding down the road, you should be doing things like, drinking your water and kind of swerving like this, or on your phone and texting like that, and you're swerving like that, and you look like you're a total hack, cars are not gonna like whiz by you, because if you're like riding, like I watch you ride,
Yeah.
and you ride just like
They don't move. Yeah.
you're just steady, straight on that white line, and
Yep.
somebody goes, oh, I bet you I could pass that guy going 90.
Yeah.
But if I'm going down here like I'm half drunk, you know, texting on my phone, people are gonna go, I don't want to kill a bicyclist, so they move all the way over and they slow way down.
Yeah.
And so in the rear, I was doing that a little bit. You don't see it.
Purposely.
Yeah, just keep some wide berth for some of these cars.
Who's that on the ground?
What?
Michael's taking it for a spin here.
Wow, you really have a lot of play on your brakes.
I know, they aren't very good right now.
How big it is from that road to that pool is that pattern is car. That's how big it is.
Riding this 100-pound fully loaded touring bicycle is very different than riding a bike with no weight on it. Let's see what he has to say about this. And just like that, I'm alone in Alaska. On my own now. I'm gonna cycle for about another hour, so about 5 o'clock at night right now. Maybe go for another hour, hour and a half, and then find a place to camp. So I'm on the road now, completely alone in Alaska. It's about 5 p.m. at night. It's nice out, it's pretty nice. It's weird to go from being surrounded by the Johnson family to being completely by myself and knowing that I'm going to be completely alone for the next 2 weeks. It's highly unlikely I will run into any other bicycle tourists at this time of year here in Alaska. Check out this view. It's so beautiful. So I've reached the first scenic overlook. It is beautiful. It's very nice out, there's very few cars. The only bad thing is there are these like mosquitoes. I don't think they are mosquitoes, they're just some kind of bug. And they're annoying and not so nice. But other than that, it's beautiful. Check out this view behind me. So there's the sign to Glen Allen, 107 miles away. That is the next town where food is available. So I have to go about probably 2 days before I get food. 6 o'clock now. It's getting dark, getting cold. I'm gonna start looking for a place to camp. I've only gone 30 miles today, so very short distance for my first day, but that's okay. Just gonna find a place to camp and get warm. Alright, so I have my tent set up here in the woods. I am literally like just off the road, like not even 50 feet away from the road. I'm hoping that that will deter some of the animals from the area. Obviously bears and moose and stuff like that cross roads, but hopefully the traffic noise will keep them away a little bit. So I've set up my tent and I put all of my food and toiletries into one of my pannier bags, my front pannier bags. And I'm gonna walk down the road, I think this direction actually, go up there somewhere, eat a little bit, make a sandwich, and then hang my food somewhere up in that direction so that tomorrow, once I cycle up the road, the way I'm going, I can stop, 100, 200, 300 meters, yards up the road, pick up my food bag, and continue on the way. I'm just sitting here by the side of the road eating about, 300 meters or so down the road from my campsite, which is back in the direction I just came from. I think tonight is going to be scary, and I'm just trying not to think too much about bears. All I've heard about Alaska is that there are bears everywhere. I hope that's not true. I really hope that's not true. So here's my dinner. Just a veggie sandwich, nothing warm tonight. That tastes so good. I'm gonna eat 3 of these sandwiches today. So hungry right now. So I just finished eating. Now I'm gonna try to find some place to hang my food bag. Unfortunately, I'm surrounded by like aspen trees. They don't really have branches that anything can be hung off of. So I might just hide my food behind a tree or something and hope it's there in the morning. So I've just thrown my rope up over this tree branch way up here. And now I'm gonna try to hoist this heavy pannier up into the tree. Alright, so my food bag, food and toiletries are now hanging up in this tree far from my campsite. It's getting dark and getting very cold, so got my bear spray. I'm going to walk back to my camp and climb inside my tent and try to get warm. My main concern really is not that the bears are going to get my food, but that people are going to find my pannier hanging in the tree and they're going to take it. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully someone will figure out that's my food and that's my stuff, and they won't take it. So we'll see. It is getting really dark and really cold really fast. I'm trying to rush back to my campsite here. So my campsite tonight is right over here, like up in these trees, somewhere back in there, just a few feet off the road. And again, like I've said in other videos, I like to camp above the road, not below the road, because the cars passing by here, they can't see up there, but they can see over here. So my tent is like somewhere up here, somewhere. There's my tent right there. Scared me because I saw the black thing and that's the bicycle behind it. But it kind of looks like a bear. Okay. I need to remember that those tree stumps are there, because if I look at night, I bet you money I'll think that's a bear. Okay, so here's my camp, bike, tent. I'm going to climb inside now, change into my warm clothes, and get ready for nightfall. was a good day, good first day in Alaska. I was with the Johnson family for the last 2 nights. They were hosting me there in Anchorage. Today they drove the entire family about 50 miles north out of Anchorage, and the 4 of us, Hani, Clay, Michael, and myself, rode bikes while the other ladies stayed in the car. And we cycled about 26 miles, together, and then I cycled another 5 or so on my own before pitching my tent in the forest. And there's cars passing. I'm just a short distance off the road, but that being said, I am still like petrified right now. All you think of, all I think of now when I go about Alaska is bears. Everybody mentions the bears. And so it's getting dark, I'm in the forest, there's like no one out here except the occasional passing car. And I'm just scared, honestly, and I'm scared not just for tonight, but for the next 2 weeks, because I'm going to be camping by myself in the forest. Sometimes I think what did I get myself into here? I want to come to Alaska, but the camping is scaring me a little bit. And normally I enjoy camping very much. For some reason I just have it in my head that this place, for whatever reason, is more dangerous than anywhere else that I've ever been. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But everybody says be careful. So it's going to be a long night. Good morning. So I just survived my first night of wild camping here in Alaska. It was a pretty warm night compared to the first 2 nights, which was great. It was a slightly scary night though. Just a little bit paranoid about grizzly bears at the moment. So hopefully that wears off as the days go by. But now I'm going to pack up my camp and get ready to go. My plan is to cycle about 50 miles today. So 50 miles, and yeah, just enjoy every moment. Now I'm cycling down the road just a short distance to pick up the food bag that I've hidden in a tree about 500 meters from my camp. So behind me is a small airport, and this is where I had dinner last night, just over on that log back there. I hid my food bag in the trees over here, so hopefully it's still there. I'm gonna go retrieve it, put it on my bike, and then we'll be on our way. So I can see the bag in the tree, it's still there. Doesn't look like it's been tampered with. I probably should have my bear spray with me right now, just in case. There's the string, and way up there is the bag. So why come to Alaska? Why did I come to Alaska? Well, back in 2004, I was actually planning a trip from Anchorage, Alaska back to like Vancouver, British Columbia, or Seattle, Washington. I was in university at the time, however, and I realized that if I took 2 summer classes that particular summer, I could graduate from university a semester early. So instead of going on that big bike trip, that I had planned, I took 2 summer courses and went on a much shorter bike tour from Chicago, Illinois to New Orleans, Louisiana. Did that in about a month. And I canceled my Alaska trip, and I've never been here before today. So here I am 12 years later doing the bike trip, or a part of the bike trip I should say, that I originally planned to do back in 2004. This guy had a bad day. So I'm cycling past the Matanuska Glacier right now. It's really big, it's off to my right. So I pulled over on the side of the road to get a better glimpse of the glacier behind me. You can see it going all the way up the valley there. And yeah, it's really big. I'm gonna continue past the glacier today, however, and continue cycling. I'm going to try to get at least another 10 miles today, maybe 15, even 20 if I can. So, onward. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon right now. I've only cycled like 25 miles, which is pathetic. I'm really tired though, and I don't feel like going much further. Yeah. So I'm sitting here on the side of the road. I just decided to make some sandwiches, and maybe that'll give me some fuel to go for another 2 hours or so before setting up camp again tonight. I think the main thing is it's really cold and my leg muscles are like frozen in place. They don't want to move. So that's not helping. Plus, I'm cycling in miles for the first time in years. I usually cycle in kilometers, and kilometers are smaller and they go by faster. So I think there's like a mental thing going on too, is like, oh my gosh, these miles are so long. And I've been off the bike for the last 2 months as well. So all of those things combined, I think, is just resulting in very low mileage. And it's super hilly too. So big mountains that I'm going over right now. 4 things in a row. Yeah. And I'm carrying a lot of weight. 5. Let's just make it an even 5. Okay, I'm gonna eat some food now. It is, it's 5:45 right now. I am so frozen, you would not believe it. I'm really like second guessing this whole trip because I am just so cold right now. I found this little rest area. There's a hiking trail back up here, and I'm gonna camp, somewhere back here tonight. But first I'm going to make some dinner. Just gonna sit underneath this thing because it's raining right now, and try to get warm, eat a little food, and then go set up camp somewhere. So this right here is where I'm gonna camp tonight. Normally I show you a couple shots of me setting up my tent and all that kind of thing. Not tonight. It's way too cold. I gotta set up my tent and get inside. That's all I gotta do right now. Okay, so I've got my camp set up just off this old deserted road. Got my bear spray in hand. The view over here is really nice. If it were clear, it would be spectacular. This is my food bag. I'm gonna go hide it like somewhere over there, like way far from my tent. I'm not gonna hang it because there's no real hanging trees around here. I'm just gonna put it far, far away. So there's my food bag. It's just at the base of the tree there. Here's my view. My campsite is over here. Oh man. Today was not an easy day. This is far from an easy bike tour, and I'm really not sure if I'm going to complete the trip at this point as I had scheduled. I don't think I could do this for another 2 weeks. It's just too cold. We'll see. Hey. Where are you? Huh. Yeah. Oh dear. Today was very difficult. Yeah, and it has me questioning the whole rest of this trip. It's raining right now, and it's really cold. Yeah. So here's what's going on. I had cancer like a year ago, testicular cancer. Had surgery to remove it, and I don't know, a couple months after that, I started getting these like dizzy spells, where like vertigo, like it felt like the whole world was just turning on its side basically all of a sudden. And I've been pretty fatigued ever since. And right now I'm so fatigued. Like, I'm walking up a small hill. I can barely walk right now. And when I consider how far I have to go and how remote it's gonna be, I'm not sure I can do it, to be honest. So what I'm kind of thinking is that right now I could go back the way I came for 2 days, go to the town of Wasilla, Alaska, and rent a car there, and do a driving trip of Alaska. Drive and maybe, get out, ride my bike a little bit, that sort of thing. I just don't think that with the weather right now, with the way I've been feeling lately, with the cold, it's quite miserable, that this trip is necessarily a good idea right now. So I think I'm gonna pull the plug this moment and start heading back the direction I came. I hate to do it because it's quite an adventure out here. It's really nice. I can't walk anymore. It's really nice, like the scenery is really amazing, but I am just not feeling up to it right now. I have no energy at all. I gotta walk up to my food bag. I'm gonna eat like everything in there. But I think I'm gonna turn around today. So from here on out, this is a car and biking trip, I think. Of course, it's gonna take me 2 days to get back to where I can even rent a car. At least 2 days. So, there's my food bag. Still there. Oh, shit, it's heavy. So there's camp. Look at the bike covered in snow. All right, I've got my bike. I can't talk, my face is frozen. I've got my bike all packed up now. Here it is. My fingers are frozen, however, and I can't feel them. So I'm just gonna put my glove, my remaining snow glove on. No video after that for a little while at least, until my fingers warm up. So I'm on the road now. I had to put my face mask and goggles on. Not because it's snowing, but just because it's so cold. My phone says it's -1 degrees Fahrenheit right now, which is freaking cold. Okay, check it out. Oh man, it's beautiful. It's so cool. Literally cool and visually cool. Check out the view behind me. It snowed quite a bit last night. Okay, my hand is freezing now. I gotta put my gloves back on. Now it's raining. I would rather it snow than rain. I hate cycling in the rain. Getting all wet when it's this cold is not fun. I love the scenery though. It's freaking spectacular. I'm so glad I brought these goggles. I wasn't going to do it at first, and I'm very glad I brought them. So the thing about cycling in the winter time is that it's a constant game of temperature regulation. Sorry, I thought I heard something in the bushes over here. It's a constant game of temperature regulation. Constantly taking off clothes, putting clothes back on all day long as you cycle uphill, downhill through different weather conditions. So this morning it was really cold, covered in snow, and now it's warmed up a bit. I am going largely downhill today. So I think as my elevation decreases, the temperature increases. Again, really beautiful scenery everywhere you look. I still have not seen any wildlife other than a couple eagles and a few little birds. I saw a squirrel yesterday, but that's about it. No caribou, no deer, no moose, no bear. I'm okay not seeing a bear, to be honest. The rest would be nice to see though. Going up a big hill right now. Just started raining again. Woo-wee. I'm getting really hot now, actually. So I'm back to the exact same spot behind me here where I camped on my first night. I'm gonna continue cycling. It just started raining, however, so I'm gonna put my other jacket back on and then continue down the road. Whew, it's cold. So I'm in Chickaloo, Alaska. This is where I left the Johnson family just 2 days ago. I know there's a campground up here, so I'm gonna check to see if I can camp. There's a picnic bench over there so I can look at the river. Yeah, I'm staying here. Even though I wanted to cycle a little further today, this place is really nice. And there's a store, a little like general store across the street, and I think it's open. If they have any warm food, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be so happy. Like even like a microwave pizza. Sounds so good right now. There's a little cabin over here. I'm gonna go check it out. Picnic tables, little shelter. I should just camp in there. And then over here is the river. Let's go over here and check it out. Leaving the campground and going across the street, there's like a post office slash general store slash who knows what over here. Whoa, jeez. I'm gonna go see what they have, see if they have any warm food. Okay, I'm back in the campground now. That looks good, yeah. Little picnic bench. Good spot to put my tent, maybe over there. Fire pit. Oh yeah. I'm gonna eat my burrito really quick before it gets, I'm gonna throw my jacket on and then eat my burrito really quick before it gets cold. This is honestly like the worst and best burrito I've ever had. Oh man, I got food in my teeth, but I don't care. It tastes not so great, but actually it's really good because I'm so cold right now. Whew. So happy to be here right now. This place is really awesome. Inside that little post office where I got the food, it was so warm. They had a fire in there. I wish I could like just stay in there forever. That feels so much better compared to how I felt this morning. Like this morning, I could not even walk to the bathroom and back. I was so exhausted and I was really scared about whether I'd be able to cycle today even. I made it, and I think I will make it back to Wasilla without any problems. But yeah, I just feel so much better right now than I did this morning. Check out what I found in the campsite here. I got a Nerf ball and a something skull. I don't know what kind of animal that is. Do you know? The sad part about finding a football is I have no one to throw it to. Good morning. Just woke up. It's about 10 o'clock. It's really cold right now, as has been the case for this entire trip here in Alaska. I'm going to retrieve my food right now, which I hid in this shed behind me last night. So just gonna go make sure it's still there. Looking for bears. Okay. See, there's the food I hid up there. So, yeah. Okay, got it. So now I'm gonna head back to my campsite, change my clothes, pack everything up, and then hit the road. And just like that, I'm off. It took me like an hour and a half just to pack up camp. It's very cold. So, pushing up to the road here. I'm in the wrong gear. That turned out to be a good free campsite. I pulled over on the side of the road there to take a photo, and just as I was about to leave, this guy in a blue pickup truck, typical like Alaskan, beard and everything, pulls up to me. He goes, "What's going on?" And I just said, "Oh, just taking a picture." And he says, "Well, this is my property and you aren't allowed here." And I was like, "Well, I'm just taking a picture on the side of the road." And he's like, he's like, "Well, you better get out of here." And I was like, "Oh, calm down, man. I'm just taking a picture." And he's like, and I just give him a look like, "What? Like, I'm seriously just standing here on the side of the road." And he's like, "Well, we've had problems with people breaking into our property." And I was like, "What property? This is a freaking forest." So anyways, that was really weird. That guy is a little paranoid, I think. So I've turned off the main highway now, and I'm working my way. Just stopped to check my map. I'm right there, and I need to get right there. So I have to go around and then over. Somewhere over there. And here's my hotel. So I just checked into the hotel. They don't have a place to put the bicycle, so I'm just gonna pick it up and carry it into the room. She said that was okay as long as the tires were clean. All right, here it is. Whew, made it. I feel like I can relax finally. So I just bought a burrito at Qdoba or something, so I'm gonna eat that before it gets cold. Yeah. This is a huge burrito. Oh. Good morning, Darren Alf here from BicycleTouringPro.com. I'm in Wasilla, Alaska right now. Spent the night at this hotel, and today I'm going to rent a car. I'm going to load my bicycle and everything into the car, and that will allow me to drive across Alaska a whole lot faster than I would be able to do on the bike itself. I'm going to go to some of the better spots and do some cycling there. So that's the plan. Today I'm renting the car and I'm meeting up with Michael again, who lives in Anchorage, nearby Anchorage, and we're gonna go on a hike. He has the day off and I'm nearby, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm leaving the hotel now, just checked out. I've got a 2.5 mile bike ride across town to get to the rental agency. So that's where I'm going now.
As long as you guys don't hit 34,000, you'll be fine. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm gonna grab the gas level here.
Okay. All right, got a Dodge Charger in matching red. And here we go. I'm a little afraid because I haven't driven a car in a long time, especially not a new car, someone else's car. Look who's here. Like my new car?
Yeah, it's a pretty sporty car.
Down in the way. Keep going. No posing to the camera. Nice weather today. Go dog, go! The sun is quickly setting. We are returning to the cars. It's getting really cold. And Sasha, the dog, is very tired.
The guy who's kind of the leader of the whole thing said, well, the reason they can do that here, not US, is this thing called insurance.
Yeah. So Michael's leaving. I'm back on my own now, and I'm just cycling across the street to the campground. I'm probably the only one over here. So we shall see. Bye. So there's my car. I'm the only person here. Hopefully I don't have a ticket or anything. Nope. So check this out. With a little maneuvering, I put the back seats down, and I just had to remove the front tire and remove the seat post and saddle, and then I was able to get the whole bike in here without having to take it completely apart with the S&S couplers and all of that. So the bike is now in the back of the car, and I can pack the panniers around the side of it. So I've got the tent set up. I am going to get the food. I put the food in this bear box over here earlier today. So I'm going to go get my food and I'm going to go eat it somewhere over here far from my campsite. I have veggie sandwiches again for dinner, cold veggie sandwiches, and yeah, so that's what I'm going to do right now. For the last 4 years or so, I've been traveling largely without a camp stove of any kind. And I didn't bring really a camp stove on this trip either. Michael gave me one to use now that I am car camping, but I can definitely see why people like the stove, because tonight it is very cold, as it has been the entire time in Alaska, and a warm meal would certainly be nice. I bought stuff to make cold veggie sandwiches tonight, which is one of my favorites. So that's what I'm making. But tomorrow, because I now have this car, I'm going to drive into town and get a hot lunch, which I'm very much looking forward to. So it's just about to get dark here, and yeah, just trying to eat some food, maybe go watch the sunset on the lake, and then crawl into my tent and listen to some podcasts before I go to bed. It's so quiet out here right now. There's no one out here but me. Dead silence. I can hear the wind blowing. I can hear traffic about, 20 miles away. I can hear a few birds. That's about it. Alright. I just finished eating. I probably have food in my teeth. I'm gonna walk down to the lake here, see what it looks like. There's just so many trees and hiding places around here, and every little noise I hear, you know, I'm on edge, so. Especially being out here all by myself. When there are signs everywhere saying watch for bears. I'm carrying this like everywhere I go. So like I've been bike touring all around the world now for 16 years, more than 16 years. And in that time, I have seen 3 bears. And really only one of those bears was while I was bike touring. The other 2 times were just while I was traveling in general. The first time was in California. I was with my family. We were in the car and I saw like a little baby bear. I don't even know what color it was really. It ran alongside the car. Oh, shite. See what I mean? Scary. Okay. The bear ran alongside the car and then hopped up a tree like this tree here and was just sitting like, I don't know, 8 feet up the tree. That was my first bear encounter. The second was in Romania, I think in 2012, near the city of Ražnov, and I was cycling up the road there, the mountain road, and there was a bear dead on the side of the road. It had been hit by a car and it was a baby black bear. And the third bear I saw was in Dinosaur National Monument in Colorado. And I was on a motorcycle tour at the time, not a bicycle, but a motorcycle. And this huge black bear, I was kind of going down this remote dirt road, came over a little rise in the road. Huge black bear was right there, like right on the side of the road, and he was digging a hole, probably looking for rodents or something like that. And as soon as I came over that rise, it took off up this hillside really fast. But it was a huge bear. And so those are my 3 encounters with bears. I've never seen a grizzly bear. I actually went, I forget when it was, 2014 I think, to like a place in Finland where bears are like known to come right on the edge of the Russian border, and I waited in this like bear viewing hut for 16 hours, just staring out a little hole in this thing, waiting for a bear to come. No bear ever showed up. I did see a wolverine, but no bears. So here I am in Alaska. Will I see a bear while I'm here? I don't know. I kind of want to see one and I kind of don't. I'm gonna go back to my tent now, get inside. My hands are freezing right now. And I'm gonna try to plan what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I have no idea. My only thinking is I'm gonna go to Wasilla, get some food for lunch, some warm Mexican food maybe, and then continue on up the road, stock up on food and stuff in Wasilla as well. So shopping, and then continue the road trip north towards Denali National Park. Good morning, Darren Alf here from BicycleTouringPro.com. I'm camping at Talkeetna Lake in Alaska. It is so cold right now. I am going to quickly pack up my tent, and today I have a car, and I'm going to drive about 80 miles to the north towards Denali National Park. I'm not sure what the temperature is right now, but everything is covered in frost. Even these little leaves on the ground have frost on them. My tent is covered in frost. The poles are so cold if you touch them with your bare hand. They're frozen. They are literally frozen. I now see why all of the campgrounds are closed and why I'm the only person out here. Because it's pretty miserable. I'm disappointed I couldn't do the bike trip 100% like I had planned, but I'm glad that I rented the car because I can at least, suffer through the night in the cold here a little bit and then jump in the car and get warm. Whereas when you're on the bike, you're just cold all day long. You're cold, cold, cold. You're freezing cold once you reach camp. And then you can warm up a little bit by climbing inside your tent. But you're still cold in there. So, anyways.
We have never lost faith in this area, and we've thought it's been wonderful through all the transitions that it's been through.
That's Lisa Safara, who owns the farm now. Seated beside her.
So I'm back on the bike now. I am cycling up to a city called Talkeetna, Alaska. I think it's about 12 miles away. And there's a separated bike path here, which is nice. The only problem is the campground that I was going to stay at tonight is closed. I mean, there's barrels and stuff in front of it. I don't know if I'd get in trouble for camping there, and I don't really know who to ask. There's visitor centers, but they're closed, and I can't find a ranger anywhere, so I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to camp. Camping with a car is a very different thing than camping with a bicycle. With a bicycle, I could just go right over there and camp, no problem. But with a car, you gotta worry about whether the police are gonna give you a ticket or impound it or something. So, it's frustrating. So cycling along the road there, I just stumbled across this lake loop. It's a 3.5 mile loop around a series of lakes. And that's what I'm doing now. It's quite bumpy, but bicycles are allowed here. And no camping allowed here though. to stop and show you the lake behind me is what I'm cycling around. And all along the lake are these little berries. I don't know what those are called, do you know? But they're all over the place here. And yeah, it's a beautiful ride. This little pond. I'm almost back to the trailhead now. I'm gonna hit the trailhead, then 10 miles back down the road, back to the car, and then I gotta find a place to camp. And that's what's got me really nervous because all the freaking campgrounds are closed. And I can camp there, but I don't know if I can do it legally and if the ranger is gonna come in the middle of the night and harass me and ticket me. So I'm not sure. The sun is gonna be setting here pretty soon. It's, what time is it? It's 4:30 right now. I usually like to, you know, have camp set up or so by 6:30 because it gets dark pretty soon after that. So I gotta get moving here. I have no idea where I'm gonna sleep tonight. Car's still here and no ticket. God, I'm paranoid. All right, I'm back in the car now. Got the bike in, and now I gotta find a place to sleep. I can't find anywhere to sleep around here. I'm driving the car down this dirt road. I don't want to scrape it on the bottom, so I'm trying to not drive it right down the middle. Cool. Check out this campsite. This is sweet. All to myself. There it is. The nice thing about having a car up here in Alaska right now is just the relief that you get from the cold. It is so cold outside. Being able to just jump in the car and even just get a few moments of warmness feels really good, really good.
My face is all swollen up. I don't know if that's from the cold or from dehydration or what, but whoa. My water bottle's frozen. Look, the outside of the tent is just frozen in a sheet of ice. And it is -5 degrees Celsius right now, which is way below freezing. Oh, it is so cold right now. That's good. I'm gonna eat a yogurt. It's not frozen. I went to use my DSLR camera this morning just to take a picture of the ice, and the focus on the camera is frozen. I can't move it right now. It's a little scary.
Namely, conspiracy. I love a good conspiracy. See, another politician who was prominent in Gandhi's time was a man named Vinayak Damodar Savarkar.
I'm pulling into Cantwell, Alaska now. This is the western side of the Denali Highway, where it meets the highway that I'm currently on, whatever that is. Here's where the road ends, pavement ends at least. I'm gonna drive just a little bit further up the road. Maybe I can park somewhere and ride my bike a little bit. So I've got my bike all packed up here. I've just put the panniers on for good looks. Basically, I want to take some pictures and maybe shoot with the drone a little bit. So I'm gonna ride down the road and see what this Denali Highway is like. There's a sign up here. I don't know what it says just yet. My eyes are frozen. I can't see it. It says, travel beyond this point, not recommended. If you must use this road, expect extreme cold, heavy snow. Carry cold weather survival gear. Tell someone where you are going. Oh man. So this is where I would have come from if I had followed my route all the way through. I was going to come out this direction. The sign obviously is saying that the road is not closed, but you got to be prepared for anything. They're saying to carry heavy snow gear. Carry cold weather survival gear. You can tell just by how I'm talking how cold it is. My mouth is completely frozen. And part of me is sad that I did not do the entire trip as expected across the Denali Highway. It's about 140 miles all the way across. Probably would have taken me 3 days, maybe even 4, depending on how much I stopped and took photos and stuff. But yeah, here it is. I'm gonna cycle down the road just a little ways, maybe about 20 miles or so, and then I'll come back. And yeah, so not getting the full Denali Highway experience, but at least I'm getting some of it. Here I am on the edge of a pretty large lake here on the Denali Highway in Alaska, and check this out. It's only October, early October, but the edge of the lake is frozen, and it goes out all the way until pretty much the other side where it is not frozen, right over there. But it's not quite frozen enough to walk on. See, I just put my finger through it. It's probably about a centimeter and a half thick here at the edge, and then it gets a little less thick as you go inland. Listen to the sound. I believe that's the sound of the ice. I'm not exactly sure though. At first I thought it was frogs. This would be a good place to camp, just right here with the car. I'm pretty sure I could do it. Okay, I'm about 25 miles down the road now from where I parked the car. I think I'm gonna turn around and go back. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon right now. It's probably gonna take me 2 hours to get back to the car because I'm about 25, almost 25 miles in at this point. So I'm gonna turn around and go back. This is a great road and I wish I had done the whole thing. It is so cold out here though. I don't know if it would have been much fun having done it over the course of 4 days or 5 days or whatever, sleeping in my tent and just being cold all the time. And you never know about weather too. Like right now it's really nice as far as like the sky is clear, it's pretty sunny. But if it snowed or started raining or something, that would make this so much harder than it already is. It's why you don't see anyone else out here right now. There's just no one here except for me. So even the moose and bear and everything else seem to have disappeared. It's just me and the ice. So going back to the car now. There's my car. So I'm back in the car now. I got some, what is this, salsa and tortilla chips to eat. I'm gonna make some veggie sandwiches as well. People always ask me, like, do you ever get lonely out on the road? And I usually say, you know, no, I don't. That I can keep myself entertained and there's people to talk to and things to do, etc. But what I've noticed here recently with the car is that that when I get back to the car after the bike ride, that's when I realize, like, oh man, I'm all alone out here. But when I'm out on my bike, I don't really feel that way. It's a really weird thing. I'm not sure why exactly. And I don't have a car in my normal life, so maybe that's a part of it somehow. But yeah, just realizing, like, I still have 10 more days here in Alaska, and I'm just, what am I doing? I'm just driving around, riding my bike, all by myself. You can hear the ice breaking. I found this little trail. It's pretty neat. I've reached a small creek crossing. It's frozen solid. Well, not solid actually. Just watch this. Ooh, it bounced. Let's try a bigger one. Oh wow, it's frozen pretty good. Both feet on frozen ice in Alaska in October. Okay, that's all I could do. The scary thing is I'm walking through, neck-high bushes here. There could be a bear behind any one of these things, and the sun is right in my eyes, so I can't see over here very well at all, which is right where I'm going, so I could just stumble across an animal at any moment. It's probably about 6:30 right now. I'm not exactly sure. The sun just went behind the mountain, so I don't think I'm going to go too much further, just maybe another 5 minutes up the trail, and then I'll turn back around and go back to the car. I don't want to be out here when it's dark, so I've been hiking for about an hour, 45 minutes. So I'm pretty well off the trail now, off the road I mean. Just wanted to point out these little berries that are growing on the ground. And these two, different. See? All over the place here. Quite a few of them. So I'm just in the car right off the side of the road here at the entrance to the Denali Highway. I'm gonna try sleeping in the car tonight. The back seats don't go all the way down though, so I'm gonna have to like sleep at an angle, but I have my sleeping mat and my sleeping bag back there. So until it gets dark, I'm just gonna hang out here in the front. I'm listening to some podcasts and looking at emails and stuff like that. So yeah. So I'm sleeping in the back of the car right now, or about to go to sleep. There's not quite enough room to sleep back here, but it's actually pretty nice. It's warmer than outside, at least at the moment. I'm sure in the morning it'll be freezing, but yep. It's a good little experiment. See how I do here. It is so tight though, like you can't really. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's some stuff. Yeah, and there's me. So, pretty funny way to end the day. All right, good night. Bye. Good morning. I just spent the night sleeping in my car on the side of the road here in the Denali Highway in Alaska. I thought sleeping in the car would make me warmer, but I woke up this morning just as cold as when I sleep outside. I just checked the weather here and it is negative 16 degrees Celsius, which is 11 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is really cold. I've been sitting in the car with the car on just to warm it up a little bit, but as soon as I turn the engine off, it's cold again. So I'm going to drive to Denali National Park today, see what's there. I don't know what's open. I'm thinking I maybe go on a hike instead of a bike ride, but we'll just see what the rangers say as far as what they recommend I do.
That's fine, but...
Está bien, pero...
But, excuse me. $8.
$8.
And when I first took the pills, medication, ironically, it was just like a firefighter.
Now, when Barry White's voice comes out of a 14-year-old white boy's body,
A lot of this non-tariff stuff, like drugs.
I just turned on to Denali Park Road. There seems to be nobody here at the moment. Haven't seen a single person yet. So I just went into the visitor center here. There's nobody here. Oh gosh. There's a couple other people in there, but that was it. The guy basically just said, yeah, you can drive down the road, park your car, go on a hike, go on a bike ride. Said you can camp in the first campground here at the park for free, and that's about it. So I'm right here, and he says if I go over here, there's some hiking trails, just a few. Then he said I could drive the car to here, to Talkeetna River, and yet you can go hiking anywhere here off trail. There are no trails. I didn't even know this, but it says here that this year the National Park Service celebrates the 100th anniversary of its establishment by Congress in 1916. That's pretty cool. And then next year, Denali National Park and Preserve achieves its own centennial. So Denali will be 100 next year. This little chart here is saying that you can get as close as 25 yards from moose, caribou, sheep, wolf, etc. And then it says bear, 300 yards. Look at the difference. It's good they got information in here about cycling, which is nice to see. So I'm driving into Denali National Park now. The good thing about coming here at this time of year is that I now have the entire park to myself. There is nobody else here. It's pretty funny actually, but it's so cold and I can see why people are not here right now. I can't imagine what this is like in the full-blown winter. It's got to be so cold. Well, I reached the end of the road here in Denali National Park. I can't drive any further. I could get on my bike and continue up the road, but it's 25 degrees Fahrenheit right now, way below freezing, and I just don't want to ride my bike. My feet are cold in the car, let alone on the bicycle. So I think I'm just going to drive back to the entrance and then continue up north towards Fairbanks and yeah, make it a driving day. So today, I'm driving. Walking around a bird sanctuary right now in Fairbanks, Alaska. It is so cold right now. This city in the wintertime is always below freezing, and I can't imagine what it's like. It's gotta be miserable. So I just spent the last hour at the library here in Fairbanks. I charged up my drone battery and one of my other camera batteries. And now I'm gonna head east towards the North Pole. I didn't think Blockbuster Video still existed, but apparently here in North Pole, Alaska, it still exists. There it is, Santa Claus! So it's about 3 o'clock right now. I'm leaving the North Pole. I think I'm gonna grab some French fries or something before I leave, and then I'm gonna drive for about 3 hours, get as far as I possibly can tonight, and then find a place to camp.
I can't stay away around it always. Being there. What do you think Chris O'Connor was influenced by? You want to write about it and such.
Check out where I'm camping tonight. The sun is kind of, the best view is like right over here, but in person it looks amazing. On the camera, not so much. That tag is for September 10th, 2016. Today is October 8th, 2016, or 9th maybe, not sure. So I don't think a park ranger has been through here in like a month. So I should be okay to camp here, I think. There's no one here, as usual, just like at all the other campgrounds I've been to in Alaska. Nobody out. Haven't seen a single camper since I've been here. So look, I'm trying to cross this river right here, there's a sign that says, not here yet, the other bridge. So it's saying, don't cross here, go over here. And then you go over here, and there's another rock that says, cross here. So, there we go. I'm totally gonna fall in. Oh man. I'm surprised I made that. I'm very surprised I made that actually. Now this is the type of terrain you think about when you think of Alaska. If I didn't get out here and do at least a little off-trail hiking, I don't think my Alaska trip would be complete. This is exactly what you think of when you think Alaska. It's so nice. My favorite time of day here in Alaska is like right before it gets dark. The weather is like actually at its warmest or close to its warmest. The light is really nice, there's no one around. Yeah, the only bad thing about this time of day is that you know night is coming, and with the night comes the extreme cold, which is not my favorite part of the day. The early morning, like from, I don't know, 3 to 10 a.m., so cold. Look at this place. So I just finished my hike through the riverbed here. Where's the camera? Here it is. And just as I was coming back, I was feeling fine, happy. And then all of a sudden I had like a vertigo, dizzy spell where it felt like I was going to fall over or something, which is what's been happening to me a lot recently since I had cancer. And I don't know what's going on or what's causing it, but my ears right now, like earlier when I was driving, I could feel the pressure in my ears pop. And ears control, your inner ear controls your balance and stuff. And I have a feeling something's going on in my ear that's causing my balance to be all off. I don't know what it is, but I had an MRI recently and they didn't show anything, but it didn't even mention really the ear canals or inner ear or anything. It's just they were looking more at my brain. So maybe now I need to go to an ear doctor, ear, nose, and throat doctor who knows a little bit more about the ear. Maybe I just need to get my ears cleaned out. But right after I had cancer, I had like a really bad ear infection. And I had another ear infection right before that when I was in Taiwan. Really bad. And so maybe those two back-to-back ear infections are what are causing me to like suddenly go dizzy. Anyways, it's just a little scary being out here by yourself and like having the whole world spin around you that's what it feels like. Like I'm just walking along normal, and then like okay, I'm just walking along, and then the world starts to go like, and that's what it feels like in my head, but my body is just in the same position. It's just like, and then it stops, and then I go, and then it stops. And that's what it feels like when I get these dizzy spells. And you just never, like, they just come out of nowhere. Like, I'll be going fine, riding my bike, and then I'm fine, like a half second later. Anyways, Okay, I'm almost back to the car now. I'm gonna get some food. The nice thing about camping with the car, I'm just gonna camp in the car like I did the last 2 nights, is that I don't have to set up my tent. I just unroll my sleeping mat, my sleeping bag, put it in the back of the car. I have to take my bike out, which is a little bit of a pain, but hey, there's the car. It's been a good car. I would totally buy this car for myself. It's nice. Of course, I'm saying that with no car experience. I don't know anything about cars. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So, all right, I'm gonna climb inside now. I'm on the eastern side of the Denali Highway now. I'm just gonna spend the day out here, I think. It's really nice, and once again, there's nobody out here. So, just kind of driving around, taking pictures, flying the drone, and enjoying the scenery. There are like 360-degree views of the mountains. It's really, really nice and really cold. It's currently 27 degrees Fahrenheit. I've been in Alaska for, I don't know, 10 days. I've not seen any animals until now. There are hundreds of them. Hundreds off to my left. Look at right here on the road in front of me, these little white birds. There they are. Bye guys. Well, I finally found the wildlife here in Alaska. There are hundreds of caribou or reindeer behind me. And they're all out there. They're quite a distance from the road. It's pretty hard to see even with my camera. But there are literally hundreds of them. I would guess at least 300 or so. Spread out pretty much as far as I can see, so pretty neat. I'm out hiking here on the Denali Highway in Alaska. My trail has ended, unfortunately. The trail goes through this lake here, and I'm not willing to walk over this frozen lake at the moment, so I think that's the end of my hike for now. But gosh, look at, that's the trail. It's all frozen and underwater. And then I was supposed to go like over here, and there's another lake back behind there, but I'm not going to be able to reach it. I'm standing on top of a frozen lake right now. Yeah, there's me. This whole thing is frozen. I'm not going to go out too far. If I fall through here, it's only a foot deep or so. But it looks like the ice is several inches thick. You can see down through the ice. Ooh. You can hear the breaks occurring actually. So I better not go too much further. But anyways, there I am on the ice. It's pretty cold out here in Alaska.
Foreign policy that says that like any nation state, we have interests, but our interests are not everywhere all the time. When you can say we go to war to protect our vital interests, but our vital interests are everything or anything, then you can go to war for any reason. I mean, there's a...
So I just arrived at this campsite here. Looks like a good spot. This is Lake Louise. It's off the Glen Highway, about 20 miles north of the Glen Highway in Alaska. And I'm walking down to the lake right now. Once again, this campsite is all closed up, like the water spigots, the trash cans. There are trash cans here, whereas the other places they weren't, but the bathrooms are closed. So I have it once again all to myself. There's not a single person here. Check it out, there's little cabins up here. spider webs. Nice. A loft up there. I could live in here. This is not too bad. I would totally live in here. You know, I have a little telescope here. Check this out. Yeah. There you go. That's the island. There's a little house out there. Little building right there. And if you look, that's the island right there that you were just seeing. See the little house? Everything is frozen. I cannot tell you just how cold it is. This is what you see when you know it's really cold. Oh man, look at that.
At the top of the cliff, the globe wavered for a moment, tipped onto a railed ramp, rolled down it to a small concave platform, and riddled to a halt.
So I am south of Anchorage, Alaska right now. I'm heading towards the city of Seward and Homer, which are on a small peninsula south of Anchorage. So that's where I'm going. For the next couple days I'll be down here.
Aid is starting to reach the parts of Haiti damaged by Hurricane Matthew, and it seems everyone is scrambling to get a part of it.
Oh, I think definitely it's changing already. I think people are,
Really becoming, I hope, because I'm kind of throwing it in.
You've given him the okay to put out that critical statement over there.
I'm in this little town called Girdwood, just a bit south of Anchorage. It's really beautiful. It's a ski resort town, and I like the feel of it. It's very nice. Pulling into Granite Creek Campground right now. It's open, it looks like. It's not closed. Wonder if there's anyone down here or if it's just me again. Gosh, it's getting dark. It's after 6 o'clock. I mean, it gets dark before 8 o'clock now, so I gotta find a place to camp pretty soon. I usually like to camp around 6:30 because that gives me time to, I don't know, set up camp and eat and stuff like that before it gets dark. So here I am looking for a place just before it gets dark. I think I just found the best campsite in the whole place. Check out the view. It's hard to see, but it's a really good view behind there. Yes, perfect. Home sweet home, and totally free. All right. So, like I said, it's about 6:30 right now. It's gonna get dark in about an hour, so I'm gonna go on a hike. There's a trail right out of my campsite here, and look at the view there. Pretty nice. So I'm gonna go down this trail, just see where it takes me. I've got my bear spray just in case, because we're in pretty dense vegetation here, and looking for prints as I walk. You know, a bear could pop out of, or a moose or anything could pop out of these bushes at any moment. So definitely carrying this around with me. There's a creek over here too, and bears and stuff are attracted to. There's a print right there. That's a dog though. That's dog prints. Okay. Anyways, here we are. Wouldn't that be cool if I just like came around the bend and there was like a bear right over there, or a big old moose or something? That would be pretty neat. one of the things that I like to do is I try to remain curious about the world, because I think as you become older, an adult, a lot of people become stuck in their ways and they stop learning. And so I always try to learn at least one new thing per day. And lately I have decided that I am going to write down the things that I learn. Hopefully that'll help me remember them in the future. So today I don't think I've really learned anything other than I've gone to some new places, which is great, but I haven't learned anything new today. So I'm not sure, and I don't have internet access. That's usually how I look things up. I have an idea for something I want to learn, but I need the internet in order to look up the answer. There's no internet out here today. So one of the things that I have been doing recently, however, is I'm getting ready for a trip to South America. This will be my second major trip in South America, third time in the continent, and I don't speak Spanish. I only know a few basic words. So I'm trying to learn Spanish, and I have some podcasts that I listen to on my phone. So today I'm going to spend all evening basically studying my Spanish. And for the next couple months I'm going to be dedicating myself to learning Spanish. My goal is not to become fluent. My goal is just to be able to communicate the basics. And so today I'm going to learn some Spanish. There's the official sign. It's nice to know that it is free and there's no services. It's also not so nice to know that this is a bear area. There are bears around here, and everywhere you look are warning signs saying put your trash away, put your food away, anything that smells, don't keep it near you, etc. Even when I'm sleeping in the car, it would be so scary if all of a sudden I woke up in the middle of the night, like feeling the car move or something, and looking out the window and just seeing a big old bear. I cannot imagine, like with its head up to the window, like looking in at me. That would be so scary. It would be like looking at Bigfoot or something. Like I would shit my pants. Here's my bike. I'm just putting it outside the car for the evening. This water bottle has been on my bike in the car all day long, and there's a big chunk of ice in the middle of it. It's frozen. That's how cold it is out here. I'm not joking. In the car and still frozen. So there's the view from my campsite in the car. It's just about to get dark, so I am going to get in the car and make some dinner. Haven't eaten anything since about noon or 1. It's a big eagle just flew over. I don't know if you could see that. There he goes. Anyways, so yeah, gonna get inside. Boom! It's nice and warm in here at the moment. Tonight, it's really windy outside, but it feels warmer than almost any other night I think I've been in Alaska. I'm also further south right now than I have been at any other time during my trip here in Alaska, so it makes sense that it would be warmer. But I am butted up right against the sea, so that could make it colder. I don't know. We'll see how tonight goes, but last night was freezing, so I hope it's nothing like last night. I feel comfortable at this campsite though. There's no one here. I'm allowed to be here. There's no fee, so that's awesome. And the scenery is spectacular. I can't wait to see what it looks like in the morning. One thing I wanted to show you. So like, here's the car. Basically, I put everything in the driver's seat at nighttime, like all my food and stuff I just have down here at the moment. I have been taking it out of the car at night. But, and then back here, I have, I don't know, my drinking water is like underneath here. And then my other 2 panniers are over on underneath there. But back here, this is the most interesting part. This is the, I've put down the rear seats of the car, and I've blown up my sleeping pad and my sleeping bag here, and I put my head down there underneath, like where the trunk is. You can't even see down there how far I put my head, like over there in the corner. And then I sleep with my feet way up here. I tried sleeping the other direction, but it just doesn't work. This thing like cuts me in the stomach if I try to sit this way. So my legs stick out in this direction, and yeah, so that's how I spend the night. Last night I spent the whole night just sleeping in the passenger seat. That did not go very well. So I'm going to try to switch back to the back again, and hopefully I'll stay warm tonight. So right now I'm really toasty, almost too hot actually. So now it's dinner time. This is the view from the passenger seat inside the car. Pretty nice, I think. Mountains, forest, picnic table out there. Yeah. Got my gloves. Anyways. Well, that turned out to be a great campsite, and I might camp here again on the way back north towards Anchorage and Wasilla, just because it was so good. So, it's still pretty windy and wet out there, but I think I'm going to continue driving south, try to get to Seward, and hope that the weather is better by the time I get there. Otherwise, I probably won't be able to go on the bike ride that I wanted to go on today.
5 years, ended up back in I'll take the 5th. They said you have a right to remain silent. Anything you want to that little protocol, whatever. They tell them some burglaries that happen in that area.
So I'm in Seward, Alaska right now, and look at what's on the beach here. Jellyfish are all over the place. I am not even gonna get close to them, but all over the place. There's another one. Jellyfish. And the birds are picking at them. I'm in Seward, Alaska right now. It's really cold. There are these ravens, common ravens behind me that are picking up clams and mussels out of the ocean or nearby ocean here, and then ripping them apart on the shore. So all around me you can see these little ravens eating mussels. Driving down the old main street here in Seward, Alaska. Not a lot going on. There's a lot of little tourist shops and stuff, but I'm pretty sure I'm the only tourist in town right now. So just down the road here is a hiking trail, and I think it's about a 45-minute hike up to a glacier, a nearby glacier. So even though it's raining, I think I'm gonna do that. That'll take me, what, an hour and a half? It's only 1:30 in the afternoon right now, so I should be done by 3:30 maybe. And yeah, then I can continue up the road and find a place to camp. So that's the plan for today. I just spotted the glacier off to my left there. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty big, right in the middle. It looks like a white waterfall. Yep. You're gonna be in my movie. We made it to the top.
Yay. Seems like they're kind of habitat.
Yep. Hey. So just as I was leaving the parking lot here at the exit Glacier near Seward, Alaska, this woman comes up to me and she's like, "Are you going up to the glacier?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Do you mind if I walk with you?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's all right." Her name was Anna, and yeah, she was afraid that there were bears or something on the trail. So there weren't any bears. We saw some other people, and that's about it. So anyways, that was kind of nice, have a little company for a little while. The glacier was cool too, although you couldn't get very close to it. But yeah, the scenery around here is really nice, really, really nice. I'm gonna go back to Seward now. I'm gonna grab, my glasses are fogging up. I'm gonna grab a Starbucks drink or something just to have something to sip on. And then I'm gonna make my way back towards the city of Homer and try to find some place to camp along the way. It's only 3 o'clock, a little after 3 o'clock right now, so I still got 3 more hours to kill before I need to really start looking for a place to camp. So just gonna take my time and enjoy it here. Check out this campground I'm pulling into, Primrose Campground near Seward, Alaska. It's right on the edge of this really big lake. I'm pulling into another great campsite here. Again, nobody at this campground. It's totally free. And I have the best campsite in the whole place, right by the river. Yeah. So it's only 4:16 right now. I've got plenty of daylight left. There's a hiking trail right here, so I'm thinking I'm just gonna leave everything in the car, kind of tidy up a little bit so no one sees all my stuff in here, and then go hiking up the trail for a couple hours, maybe 2 hours up the trail, 2 hours back, right before nightfall, or maybe an hour and a half up, hour and a half back. Yeah. All right, and we're off on the trail now. I'm not exactly sure how far things are here. It's 7.5 miles from here to there. I'm not gonna go that far. To Long Lake, it's probably about 3 miles. I might be able to do that if I walk really fast. We'll see. We'll just go as far as I can. So earlier today when I was hiking up to the exit Glacier just outside of Seward, I ran into Anna, that woman that I was hiking with briefly, and she asked to hike with me because she was afraid of going down the trail alone because of the bears that are supposed to be here in Alaska. Haven't seen any bears yet, or any evidence of bears, but there are signs everywhere saying to watch for bears, and I'm carrying bear spray. But anyways, that trail was much more developed than the one I'm on right now. This is much more in the backcountry. Wow, look at these red, look at that. That's cool. They're all over here. Okay, sorry, got distracted. Anyways, these red plants are all over. Really neat. I was just saying that, gosh, there's more cool stuff. Look here, like mushrooms, fungi, all over the place here. Cool. Okay, back to what I was trying to say. So, yesterday I was telling you that I try to learn something new every day, and only recently have I started writing down some of the things that I learn every day. And so today I wanted to do some research on, hold on, look, little berries. Okay, I wanted to do some research on how many bears there actually are in Alaska and how many bears there are here versus, say, in a place like Sweden, which is where I was earlier this summer. I finished my bike tour in Sweden just a few months ago. So I did some research and I found out that there are about, this is an estimate, I don't know, it could be wrong, about 135,000 bears in Alaska. That's about 100,000 black bears, 30,000 brown bears, and about 4,500 polar bears. In Sweden, there are only about 3,500 brown bears, and that's like a pretty optimistic estimate, I think. So it sounds like quite a big difference. Like Alaska has 135,000 and Sweden has 3,500. But Alaska is way, way bigger than Sweden. It's like, I think like 5 times the size of Sweden. And so I did the math, and if I did it correctly, hold on, I gotta switch arms, my camera's heavy. If I did my math correctly, it means that there are about 10 times as many bears per square mile in Alaska as there are in Sweden. And so for like, I think, again, if I did my math correctly, and this is just an estimate, but in Alaska, there is 1 bear for every 5 square miles. Whereas in Sweden, even though it's a smaller country and there's a smaller amount of bears, there's 1 bear for every 50 square miles. So you can see how, you know, the bear thing is real here in Alaska, as long as those bear numbers are accurate. There are 10 times as many bears here as there are in a place like Sweden. And I'm looking around now just to be aware of my surroundings. This is a really nice forest. Look at this place. Really cool. Okay, well anyways, that's what I learned today. I hope you enjoyed learning that factoid as well. And onward. This is the trail that I'm hiking on, and if you look right here, it's a big old track about the size of my hand. Hoof print here, hoof print here. I'm pretty sure that's a moose. Here's another one. Hoof print here and here. So there, all along here. There's another set. Here's another one. And they continue up the trail. I have no idea how far I've gone or how much further it is to the lake. I didn't even bring my cell phone, so I have no idea what time it is either. I'm just kind of guessing by the daylight that it's about 5, maybe 5:15, 5:30, which means I probably got about another hour and a half of daylight left. So I should probably turn around sometime soon. But I'm gonna go maybe for another 15 minutes. Then I'll turn around. I would like to say that the sign at the trailhead said that this route was not recommended for bicycles. But if you had a mountain bike, this would be such an incredible trail. Like, I'm thinking, actually, I don't have my mountain bike with me, but I have my touring bike. And I'm thinking in the morning, I'm gonna ride back up here on my bicycle. The uphill ride, getting up, will be a lot of work, but coming down will be a blast. I can see the lake through the trees. So I made it here. Whew. It's starting to get dark, which is worrying me, but I wanted to make it to the lake. So I've already covered like 3.5 miles. Now I gotta go back before it gets dark, but just gotta get one more view of the lake here to prove that I made it. Okay, here's the lake. Okay, that's the lake. I didn't go all the way around, but I gotta turn around because it's getting dark and I do not want to get caught out here in the dark. So, and I've gone a long ways. I think about 3.5 miles, 3.5 miles. So, luckily, it was pretty much all uphill on the way here. So hopefully on the way back, it'll be all downhill. Just wanted to show you really quick this little marker on the tree. Says Iditarod National Historic Trail. That's the trail that I was on just there. Anyways, pretty neat. Okay, I'm back at the campsite now. It's still light. I don't know what time it is. I bet it's earlier than I think it is. I think it's just really dark right now because it's been raining and there's rain clouds up there. So it's probably only like 7, I'm guessing, right now. And I still have like an hour of daylight. So, alright, I'm gonna jump in the car. I'm all sweaty. I gotta dry my jacket and shirt off, get some food, set up camp in the car, and listen to some podcasts.
Well, here I am in the trunk of the car. I've become quite comfortable back here, actually. It's pretty funny. I'm kind of upside down and backwards in the trunk of the car. But yeah, I've become at home here. So hopefully tonight will be warm. Last night was really warm, actually. I was so hot that I had to take my down jacket off last night. Hope that tonight is the same. I have, I think, 4 more nights here in Alaska tonight and 4 more nights. So 5 nights left, and then I go back home to Southern California. So just going to try to enjoy it over the next couple days. My birthday is actually in 2 days. Not tomorrow, but the day after. So I think I'm going to spend that day in Homer, Alaska. Maybe try to do something special, whatever that means. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna listen to a podcast now and then probably fall asleep while I'm listening to it. Good night. So I'm at the very end of the spit here in Homer, Alaska. This is as far south as I will go on this trip.
I'm gonna head back into town, just look around for a little bit. It's about almost 5 o'clock at night, so I need to start looking for a place to sleep tonight. If I could get a warm meal as well, that would be great. So that's what I'm doing right now. So there's a campground here in Homer. I'm at the little registration sign right now. Anyways, it basically says that RVs are $15 and tents are $10. If I sleep in my car, am I free? Anyways, I think I pay $10. I'll just stay here. I'm gonna walk down about 1.5 miles into town. Should take me about 30 minutes to get down to the water's edge. Go down there, then come back to the car and call it a night. Just gonna walk around town and see what there is to see. Go over to Main Street. It's just one street over, so I'm gonna go to Main Street and then walk down to the water. So this pretty much concludes my trip here in Alaska. Tomorrow is my birthday, and I'm going to drive all the way back to, where am I going? Back north of Anchorage. It's going to be a long drive, and maybe I'll stop along the way and do a short little hike or something like that, take some pictures, but otherwise, pretty much done. Good morning. Today is my last full day of exploring in Alaska. And I'm in Homer, Alaska right now, which is as far south as I will go on this trip. Today I am going to drive, I think about 300 miles, 250 miles, something like that, back towards Anchorage, Alaska to a town called Eagle River, where I'm going to spend the night in a hotel. Today is my 33rd birthday. And so my parents, as a gift to me, because I'm here alone on my birthday, they wanted me to have a hotel and not sleep in the car. So they bought me a hotel in Eagle River for tonight. And so I'm going to drive there. And then tomorrow I return the car. And the day after that, I ride back to Anchorage. And then the day after that, I fly home. So this is really the end of the trip today. So I'm going to try to enjoy every moment of it. That moose just ran out right in front of my car. Whew, that was close. Just tested the brakes on this bad boy. So I'm near the town of Whittier, Alaska right now. Just got out of the car and I'm going on a hike. It's about a 1 mile hike up to the Byron Glacier. It's just a very small glacier, but here I am. I should have brought my bear spray perhaps, but I didn't. This is as far as I'm going to go up towards the glacier. That's the glacier behind me. I'm not going to go any further because this area, like, there are rocks falling as I speak. And I do not want to be crushed underneath one of these rocks. So I'm going to go back to the car, and that'll be it here at the glacier. Just before I got to the glacier here, this moose ran out in front of my car, and I've always like thought, you know, like you hear about people dying and stuff like accidentally or suddenly, and but I've never really heard of anyone when you say like, how did he die? And then they say, oh, well, he was crushed by a moose butt when it came crashing through his front window at 70 miles an hour. But there are people out there that died that way. Quite a few actually. And gosh, that would be a terrible way to go. How did he die? On his birthday in Alaska, he had a moose, you know, 1,000-pound moose butt land in his face at 70 miles an hour. God, that'd be terrible. Anyways, so I'm escaping death by avoiding the moose, and I'm escaping death by getting out of the avalanche zone here at the glacier before it's too late.
No como mucho.
No como mucho.
You don't. It's funny too, if you go to any pre-modern society and you want to see the
Son of a Persian, an Aryan, of Aryan seed.
So I just paid $12.50 to go into this Alaskan wildlife conservation viewing place or something like that. I don't know where I'm supposed to park. Maybe up here. But there are like bears and bison and elk and stuff like that here. It's basically like a little zoo, I think, but much bigger than a zoo. Or at least there's more space for the animals. So, here we go. Right there. Look right there, there's a baby bear. Right there. That's a baby black bear. It's pretty far away, but that's cool. Check this out. This is the head of a black bear. Look at how small that is. So, this is a polar bear. And that's a brown bear. Well, that was cool. Now I can officially say I saw a bear in Alaska. It was in a cage, but that counts, right? Alright, so that's the end of my time here at the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center. Gonna get back in the car and drive up to Eagle River, Alaska. Bye, Mr. Moose.
A soldier in white had been filed next to the text. The text rammed needles into nerves to hear from the field. There was a urologist for his urine, a lymph node. He had a cavern
made it to my hotel in Eagle River, Alaska. Let me give you the tour here. So I got a couch. Well, shoot, the couch is here. Couch, bed, desk, TV, another desk area over here, and then the bathroom is in here. There's nothing extraordinary really, but I have a bathtub. I could take a bath. Tonight is gonna be good. I'm gonna be warm, soft. I'm not sleeping at an angle. So this was my parents' gift to me on my birthday today. They wanted me to be warm tonight, so they got me this hotel. And when I checked in, the lady at the desk said, "Happy birthday, you're 25, right?" And I was like, "Yep, that's right." I told her I was actually 17, but whatever. So I've checked into the hotel. I think I'm gonna try to go get some pizza maybe for dinner. So yeah, that's the plan. All right, 2 quick announcements. 1, I got pizza for dinner. 2, I have been wearing this shirt, or these 2 shirts, for the last 16 days without taking it off, something like that. Yeah, 16 days. This shirt underneath has not come off. And this shirt I put on at night to sleep in, and then just one day I just decided not to take it off. So tonight, finally, I'm gonna take off these nasty clothes and my pants that are covered in food and dirt and everything, and try to wash them in the sink or in the what's it called, bathtub. But first, pizza. Surprisingly, I did not sleep well last night. It was so hot in here. I was sweating. And I woke up at 3 a.m. this morning and could not get back to sleep. So I'm feeling tired now. Anyways, I gotta return my rental car in a half hour. I gotta go get gas, fill it up, and then return it. And then I'm just checking into a hotel that's right across the street from the rental place and spending the night there. So another day of rest, which is appreciated. I'm gonna miss having this car. It's been nice to live like a somewhat normal person for the last 10 days. And tomorrow I'm gonna have to cycle 55 miles or something in the cold again, so hopefully it's not too bad. But just one more day of cycling here in Alaska, and then I'm back to sunny California. And I have 1 month to work in California before I go to Ecuador and Colombia. So that 1 month is going to be pretty busy, of just computer work and trying to get things done. So anyways, it's been good. Alaska's been good. What do I think about Alaska? It's pretty. It's not as spectacular as maybe I thought it was going to be. And I wouldn't want to live here, frankly. I thought the people were nice, but it's much more conservative than I like, that's for sure. And yeah, much too cold. I don't think I'd like the winters very much. I mean, I live in a winter town now, but it's not that bad during the winter. We have snow and everything, but I live in a ski resort town, so obviously we have snow, but not like this. This is basically just cold. Darren Alf here from BicycleTouringPro.com. I'm in Southern California right now, but I just recently completed releasing all of my videos from my recent trip to Alaska, which I took this last October. So I thought now would be a good time to kind of summarize my trip, talk about my favorite areas that I visited while I was in Alaska, talk about some of the things I did right while I was there, and also share some of the things that I did wrong. So I've been wanting to go to Alaska for a long time. The reason I went in October of last year is because, one, I had the time, and two, I found a really cheap airline ticket. It was $250 round trip from Los Angeles to Anchorage, Alaska, and I just couldn't let the opportunity pass me by. So I was like, book that thing and just go. I originally, when I planned the whole trip, when I saw that cheap ticket, and I knew that it was October, I thought, oh, maybe I should just go rent a car, drive around the state, do some hiking, camping, that sort of thing. But then I thought, oh, I'm the Bicycle Touring Pro. I got to take my bike and do a bike trip there. So even though I kind of knew it was going to be freezing cold, and even though I wasn't totally prepared as far as the clothing that I brought with me, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, I decided to give the bike trip a try. Now, if you watch my videos that I released from Alaska, you'll know that I only really cycled for about 4 days before basically just giving up and turning around and coming back and deciding to do the whole car thing that I had thought about doing from the very beginning. I did research before I left on my trip. I mean, I spent some time at least looking on Google to see how cold it was going to be in Alaska during the month of October when I was there. And what I found online, whatever I was looking at the time, said it was going to be like 40, 45 degrees above freezing Fahrenheit during the day, and then at night it would drop down close to freezing. Well, that sounded okay, and I thought I can do that because I've been in other areas in Norway and Iceland and Ukraine and stuff where it was much colder than that, actually. So I thought, like, I'll be totally fine. I'll go to Alaska in October. It'll be cold probably, but not freezing cold. Well, I got there and it was freezing cold. The lakes were frozen, the rivers were frozen. It was freezing. And it was just way colder than I thought it was going to be. It was way colder than Google told me it was going to be. So yeah, that was part of the negative or downside to this whole bike tour / road trip that I did at that particular time of year. Is just that it was so darn cold. On the bike, the main problem I was having, like if you watch my videos, I had a beanie, I had a face mask and goggles and winter snow gloves and winter jackets and all that sort of a thing. So I was prepared there, but I didn't have the right shoes, actually. That was the main thing that was bothering me. I had my summer cycling shoes with me, and they're like vented and open basically to keep you cool during the summertime. But it was winter up there, or winter-like, and I was, after just a few days on the road, like really having problems with my feet and keeping them warm. So I think if I had worn the proper shoes, and if I had had a proper pair of like winter ski pants that I could ride in each day, that would have made a huge difference, and I probably could have continued no problem. A lot of people were asking me, like, why did you not have warmer pants when you went to Alaska? And there's a very good answer to that. I went on a big long bike tour in Europe, gosh, a year and a half ago or so. And I came back from that bike tour to Southern California, where I am right now, to visit with my parents. And while I was here, I found out that I had cancer. And so I had to go in for surgery and basically like find all these doctors in this area where my parents live. And I don't live here in Southern California, actually. I live in the state of Utah, which is about 1,000 miles away, 1,600 kilometers. And so, yeah, this is basically why I don't have the winter clothing, is because I came back from Europe on a summer trip, and then I was here in Southern California with all my summer gear, recovering from cancer. And then last summer I went to Europe again during the summertime, so I had all my summer gear, and then I flew back to California to visit my parents, check in with all my doctors, etc. And then this Alaska trip popped up, and I thought, oh, I really want to go to Alaska, but all of my winter clothes that I would normally bring with me on a trip like that, my winter boots and pants and all that sort of stuff, was in Utah, where I normally live. But I was in Southern California getting treated for cancer and visiting friends and family and stuff too. So that's why I didn't really have the proper gear, is because I just thought, I'm gonna go to Alaska even without the snow pants, even without the right shoes, and hopefully I'll be okay. And I can just get by. I just didn't want to spend the money. That's the problem. I didn't want to spend money on new shoes that cost hundreds of dollars and new pants that cost hundreds of dollars. So I was just trying to save the money, and that really backfired in the long run. I probably should have just bought new winter clothing and forgotten about how much it cost me, but oh well, lesson learned. So the little biking that I did do in Alaska was actually quite good, and I really enjoyed the Glen Highway, which is where I spent most of my time cycling, from Wasilla kind of northeast, for several days on the bike. So I really enjoyed that. The views were spectacular, scenery was great. I was there kind of in the autumn, so some of the leaves at least were still turning, you know, shades of yellow and orange and that sort of a thing. So that was kind of nice to see. But then after my little biking segment of the trip, I rented a car in Wasilla, Alaska, which cost me several $100s for the 10-day period that I rented it for. And with the car, I then drove basically everywhere that you can go on a paved road in Alaska. And that's a slight exaggeration, but not entirely far off. So I drove north from Wasilla up to the edge of the western edge of the Denali Highway, spent some time biking and hiking out there. Then I drove up to Denali National Park, did sort of a driving and hiking tour of that area. Then I drove north to Fairbanks, spent one day there just kind of looking around. I didn't really like it very much, no offense, Fairbanks people. Then I went to North Pole, Alaska, which is like this Christmas-themed town, really. And then I continued sort of southeast, down towards the eastern edge of the Denali Highway. This area I really, really enjoyed, and I'd love to go back and spend more time there. It was really nice over there. Hardly anyone out there. Then I drove down the Glen Highway and spent a night at Lake Louise, which was really nice as well, and then continued down south towards Wasilla and Anchorage, and then down south even further into the Kenai Peninsula, where I visited Seward and Homer and Whittier. Those are 3 cities/towns that I went to in the car. So as you can see by looking at this map, like, I went kind of everywhere that you can drive in the main chunk of Alaska. There's obviously a whole lot more to the state, but as far as driving is concerned, I kind of did the big loop. My favorite areas that I visited on this entire trip were on the Denali Highway, on especially the eastern side. I thought was really nice, although the western was good as well. I did not bike across the entire Denali Highway. I only cycled about 30 miles of it. But yeah, I'd really love to go back and do that entire thing during the summertime when it's warmer. It was freezing out there. The lakes were frozen, the rivers were nearly frozen. Yeah, it was really scenic, and there was hardly anyone out there, but gosh, it was cold. The Glen Highway was also really nice. Like, as far as like a main road goes, I thought it was going to be like semi-trucks and lots of traffic, but it was really like actually enjoyable, I thought. Good shoulder to cycle in and beautiful scenery the entire way. So if I were to recommend a bicycle touring route in Alaska to somebody that was going there maybe for the first time, I would recommend this route from Wasilla, up the Glen Highway, over across the Denali Highway, and then back down to Wasilla. I think that alone right there would make for a spectacular bicycle tour. The other route that I think would be really enjoyable is to cycle from Anchorage south to Homer down the Kenai Peninsula. This was a route that I really enjoyed in the car, and I think I would really enjoy it on a bicycle. The downside to this particular route, as far as I can see, is that there's no other way to return once you get to Homer other than going back the exact same way that you just came. As a long distance bicycle tourist, I don't like going down the same road twice. I just hate that. So if it were me, I'd probably cycle from Anchorage to Homer and then catch a bus or something back to Anchorage. Or maybe I'd take a bus or taxi or Uber or whatever from Anchorage down to Homer and then cycle my way back. That's the other thing I want to say about this particular section of Alaska is while I was down there, at least, it was super windy. And wind sucks on a bicycle if it's blowing the wrong way. So I think if it were me, I'd probably go down to Homer first and then cycle back to Anchorage that way, because the wind was kind of blowing in that direction while I was there. I don't know what it's like for the rest of the year, but that's the way that I would do it. Overall, I liked Alaska. It was nice, and I would go back if I was given the opportunity. As far as the landscapes are concerned, I honestly thought that like Alaska was gonna blow my mind as far as the landscapes were concerned. But it really didn't. Like while I was there, I thought, yeah, it's nice. It's lots of trees and stuff, but it wasn't like mind-blowing. But when I look at some of the footage that I shot, especially from like the Glen Highway when I was on my bike, like I look at that and go, wow, that looks really spectacular. And I guess it was, but for whatever reason, it just didn't hit me at the time. And the same goes for the entire trip. I mean, I went up to Denali National Park, drove through there, which is supposed to be so spectacular. And I was just like, meh, you know, it didn't do anything for me. I didn't see any wildlife. It was just kind of brown and dead. No one out there, rolling hills. There were some mountains off in the distance, but that was about it. So I don't know, it didn't hit me as like, you gotta go to Denali National Park, you're gonna love it. It was just like, meh, I went there and I have nothing to say about it, frankly. Fairbanks is another place that I went to that I didn't really enjoy. I only spent a day there because I didn't like it. It was probably the most seedy place of anywhere that I went in Alaska, where I felt slightly unsafe a little bit, actually. Everywhere else in Alaska actually did feel quite safe. And I was a little bit surprised about that, to be honest. I kind of thought that Alaska, there would like be a bunch of guys with beards and guns walking around in flannel t-shirts or something, but it wasn't really like that. It was much more modern than I expected. While we're talking about the people, I should mention that most of the people, like 99% of the people that I met in Alaska were super nice, super friendly, super outgoing, and yeah, I loved them. There were, however, some incidences, or especially just one incident, where when I was on the bicycle, this guy came up in a pickup truck alongside of me and basically just started yelling at me to get off his property. And I was just standing there on the side of the road. It wasn't even on his property, really, technically. So, yeah, it was very weird. And he had a gun in his lap. I could tell just by, like, he was holding his hand like this, you know, inside the car. Like he was ready to shoot if he had to. But yeah, that was a little frightening for sure. And I kind of thought there would be more incidences like that, to be honest, because that is like what I think of when I think of Alaska, is like old man with a beard, crazy paranoia, pickup trucks, that sort of thing, guns. Yeah, so that one person like totally fit the stereotype of like scary Alaska, but everybody else kind of blew those stereotypes away. As far as like the kindness that I received from people, the friendliness and all of that. The other thing that I should mention is that I was kind of shocked by how conservative it is up there in Alaska. Like it's the land of like country music, Christian radio, and Trump bumper stickers. And that shocked me because I'm from Southern California, and I think if you put a Trump bumper sticker on your car here, you might have a rock in your window pretty damn quickly. So it was kind of shocking to see so much of that. up there in Alaska. It's just like a completely different world for me. If I were to go back to Alaska and do my whole trip all over again, one, I'd go in the summertime. Even though it's going to be more crowded during the summer, I heard from many of the locals up there that it can be like a zoo during the summer because there's so many tourists. But even though that might be the case, I think I'd still go back and do a bike tour there in the summertime when it's warm. Like I said, I really enjoyed the cycling there. It's just that I was freezing my butt off in October. Don't go to Alaska in October. I do not recommend it. So I'd go back to Alaska in the summertime, first of all. Secondly, I think I would choose between one of two routes. I'd either cycle from Anchorage down to Homer on the Kenai Peninsula, or I would do a circle route from Wasilla, Alaska, which is just above Anchorage, up the Glen Highway, across the Denali Highway, and then back down to Wasilla. Those two routes are spectacular, and I think if you chose either one of those routes, you'd really have a great time bicycle touring in Alaska. Alright guys, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my Alaska videos and this short summary of the trip. Coming up very soon on the Bicycle Touring Pro YouTube channel, I have the videos from my bike tour in Ecuador and Colombia in South America, and I can't wait to share those videos with you. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Once again, I'm Darren Alf from BicycleTouringPro.com, and I hope to see you out on the road sometime soon.